Hello, Paltalkers, and happy Thursday. Welcome to the In Touch Weekly show. I am your host, Dorothy Cascerceri, the senior editor for In Touch Weekly, and I am joined today for the second time on my show by the very lovely Erika Katz. She is an extremely talented beauty guru, and she wrote a really fun book called Bonding Over Beauty, which for all you moms out there, it's all about how you can bond with your daughter or your son.
Yeah, and use beauty as a way to do it. Because a lot of times moms want to talk to their daughters and their daughters don't want to talk to them. But if you just put her hair in a ponytail or you pamper her by doing her nails, sometimes she'll open up and talk to you.
Sometimes she'll open up and tell you about the kid at school that's, being a bully, or the guy that she has a crush on, or something like that.
Or something, because sometimes when I ask my daughter what's going on in your life, she says, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. But I find when I do something nice for her and I'm paying attention to her and I'm not looking at my cell phone, she talks to me. So it's really how to do that. And also, sometimes as a mom, we don't know the answers to all the questions. What do you do if she has hair on her face? What if you do if she wants to wear makeup and you don't think it's the right time?
Right.
What do you do if her hair is out of control and she's miserable about it? So it's a lot of talking to moms, and also a lot of girls read the book because there's a lot of great information in there that they want to know, and so they kind of hide it in the corner thinking it's so special. But
so basically it's a way of tricking your children for the most part. but also pampering them too. I remember last time when you were here, you made a really fun
scrub.
A scrub,
Yeah.
A scrub with like honey and
you know what? Now if you go to my website, which is bondingoverbeauty.com, I have recipe cards that you can download, and there's little tags so you can cut it out. You can actually make the scrub, put it in a jar, and put a little tag on it so you can actually make a gift out of it.
Oh, that's a really cute idea.
Cute. Yeah, it's fun.
For a birthday present or even for party favors if you're doing a party.
Yeah, because a lot of times now people are doing these fun mani-pedi princess parties or whatever, and so you can actually make the party favors, which is a nice way to save money, which we're all trying to do because back to school is coming up and there is so much to buy, and my daughter wants her hair pink and blue at the tips.
That's the big thing.
Demi Lovato,
that's the big
thing.
Thank
you, Demi. Thank
you
for that.
All the celebrities are taking the ends of their hair and dipping them in Kool-Aid, it seems like.
Yeah. And then, of course, Katy Perry, which is my daughter's favorite, and she just saw her movie. And she sits in the car with the earphones on, singing that song, Just a Part of Me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what she said. It's really funny. I videotaped it because it's so funny.
Well, listen, for all of our male viewers today, don't worry, we're not going to talk about beauty. Yeah, we're going to talk about boy stuff too. We're not going to talk beauty the entire time. I also want to mention that we would love to hear your fabulous voices. If you want to raise your hand, you can come on in to the room virtually over our microphone, and we can hear you over our speaker, which will be a lot of fun. I'm going to try and monitor the message board, but it's a little bit tough because I don't want to ignore my lovely guest here. We do have a lot to talk about. This has been a very busy week in Hollywood. I was on Headline News. I don't know if anyone watches Headline News, but I was on Headline News yesterday.
I saw it.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I was talking about this scandal that has completely rocked Hollywood. Rob Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, who are the stars of Twilight, I'm sure you all know that, they have been this very, very private couple for 4 years. I mean, so private to the fact that when Rob Pattinson was filming a movie here, he basically spent no time outside of his trailer the entire time. I mean, they are just complete hermits in a way.
Maybe this is why they're so private. Maybe there's a secret we don't know about.
I know. We have a caller that I'm going to get to in just a moment. But anyway, I was talking about the fact that Kristen Stewart was caught red-handed making out with her 41-year-old director of Snow White and the Huntsman. Now, mind you, Kristen Stewart is 22 years old. The man is 41. The man is also married. He also has 2 children under the age of 7. And Kristen Stewart is in a somewhat loving, somewhat committed relationship for 4 years. Well, that's what I said. People said, how does she do that? Was the relationship fake? Is it all a stunt? I said, well, she's 22 years old. I mean, when I was 22, I wasn't making out with married men, but I was certainly making my mistakes.
But you know what I think happens? I think when these women do these movies, it's sort of like a shipboard romance. They're with these people imagine you're with the same people for 4 or 5 months, and those are the only people you see.
Right.
And I think they get really close, and sometimes they're abroad or wherever they are, and I think sometimes they cross the line.
They're bored, they're
Not
lonely.
saying it's right, but I think that might have been what happened.
I agree.
You know what? He's also, it's almost like if it's your professor. Remember, the director is the most powerful person there, and sometimes women like power, so maybe it was seductive to her.
But what about Rob Pattinson? He's one of the most famous actors in Hollywood.
You think?
I don't know. It's very strange.
I don't know.
Okay, Stefano in Dallas. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are you there? Do we have you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, hi. Hello. How are you?
Good afternoon. I was just listening to you ladies, speaking of daughters and so forth, and also as well as the movies. I've actually seen Snow White and the Huntsman, which was an awesome movie. And actually, when the emotions kind of flare up during the course of any filming and everything, possibly as emotions will rise, and you'll find yourself in an unpredictable moment.
Well, yes. You know what else I think? I think something that we have to teach our daughters is when they're in a situation where there's somebody of power, like whether, we have our kids in school, and whether it's a teacher or your employer, I think sometimes the power of that person can be very seductive to young women, and I think we have to make sure they understand that that's not appropriate. Just like if a teacher were to do that to a student, even in college, it's just not quite appropriate because they have a certain power over them, and I think maybe that could have been it, or maybe it's something else we just don't know about because you never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Well, Stefano, I'm interested to hear that the movie was a very good movie, so I guess the director did his job okay. He wasn't.
My daughter loved that movie.
He wasn't completely distracted by Kristen Stewart.
You might be distracted by Kristen Stewart too. She's very pretty.
And I want to add one more thing also. Everybody makes mistakes, of course, and I'm in no place to pass any judgment on anybody, but also for parents it's very important to lead by example. So if you're trying to teach your daughters or you're trying to teach your sons, that you really shouldn't, get involved with someone who's married. You really shouldn't go there. You have to lead by example in your own marriage, or just if you're a single parent, in the way that you kind of conduct your love life and that sort of thing in front of the eyes of your children.
I think she's 22. I don't think she was really thinking about it. And, I think there you go. But I don't think we know the whole story.
No, there's going to be a lot more to come out.
I think you're going to have a lot of juicy details to come.
Oh, I absolutely am. Stefano, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you calling in.
Not a problem, ladies. Thank you for your time.
All right, come back next Thursday.
Not a problem.
Okay, so moving on also to another kind of crazy story that broke this week. Now, I was on WLNY, which is a local show here in New York. It's called On the Couch. I was on there on Monday talking about the Jackson family. And
this is weird,
isn't it? This is a very strange story, and I know that Alabama guy, hello, sorry, just to interrupt myself, I want to say hello. I know that everyone's going to have a lot of comments about this, so, give us the comments on the message board, but if you can call in, we'd like to hear your voice. It's just much easier for me. Anyway, okay, Michael Jackson died. Catherine Jackson, his mother, became the caretaker of the children.
Of the kids,
yes.
Okay.
Now, there's 3 children, Paris, Blanket, and...
Paris, Blanket. Wait, there's a boy, right?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Paris, Blanket, and I'm forgetting. But either way.
I'll think of it.
Prince.
That's
Thank you, Elfie, baby. We appreciate you.
How can we forget Prince?
I know, exactly. Paris, Blanket, and Prince. Whatever. So the 3 children are being taken care of by Catherine Jackson, Michael Jackson's mother. All of a sudden, now you know these kids have been under masks their entire lives, and
but
now
they're very poised. Have you ever heard them speak? Very poised.
I follow Paris on Twitter because I find her to be fascinating, and I think she has a lot of interesting tweets. I think she seems like a really well put together young girl.
He did something right. I don't know what he did. I'd like his parenting tips. I think those kids are amazing.
I know. I agree. So Paris tweets that she hasn't seen her grandmother in over a week. Now, this sparks this whole story. Where is the grandmother? What happened to Catherine Jackson? Did she run away from the family? Is she in hiding? Is she in trouble? What's going on? And then it's reported that 5 of Michael's siblings signed a letter and basically are saying that the executors of the will are taking advantage of Catherine Jackson. So this entire situation is putting a lot of stress on Catherine Jackson. Let's not forget she's a senior citizen. She's an older woman, putting a lot of stress on her. And then the doctor tells her, you need to go somewhere where you're not near a cell phone, where you're not near a computer, where you can just, cut yourself off from the outside world and just really take some time to de-stress. So apparently
sounds like
she
rehab
leaves.
to me.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
But apparently she was with her daughter Rebby in Arizona, but she never told the children that she was going there, which is very odd. So Paris is wondering, where's my grandmother? And then there was a report that she had suffered a mini stroke. Now, her lawyer had said that that did not happen, so that was maybe just a false report. But very, very strange story. Then we hear that Katherine Jackson has been found in Arizona, like I said.
Right.
And then we hear that the family showed up at the house with the children, and apparently Janet Jackson, gave Paris a little bitch slap and tried to take away her cell phone because she's tired of her tweeting, private things about the family. Now, whether this is all true, I don't know exactly.
Bizarre.
But it's all very bizarre. And now Katherine Jackson is no longer the caretaker of the children.
Here's what I think. I always think that money is the motivation behind most things.
Oh, yes.
So there's something going on, especially because if the executors were taking advantage of her, I don't think that she is so innocent either. I mean, look, she raised, how many kids? 5, 6 kids? How many kids she have?
Well, the Jackson 5, but then there were a few others.
Okay, and how many of them were successful, extremely successful? A lot of them. So she was a stage mother.
And how much help did she have, or positive help did she have from her husband? Zero.
So let me tell you, this is not a stupid woman.
Right.
Okay, so I think there's more to the story.
There definitely is. Actually, Ray PNN agrees. That is strange. There's more to this than we are getting. Elfie baby, well, from what I understand, Janet has always been mean to her siblings or family. And I actually have heard that too, to be honest.
Well, Janet's very self-absorbed.
Well, yeah, definitely. She's working on her latest diet, probably. But anyway, okay, now, really quick to switch gears here for a second. Alabama Guy has a question for you, Erika, about daughters. What do you think is the best age for a daughter to start dating?
Somebody asked me this question
I love
today.
this question.
This is such a hard question, okay? So I think what you have to do is you can't put an age on it. Because remember, a date, what is a date? It's different in different situations. So what you do is, your daughter comes to you, she wants to go on a date. The first thing you want to say is, why do you want to go on a date? Are your friends going on dates? Who's the boy? Do I know him? How old is he? Have to ask how old he is. Because if she's 13, he's 17, clearly we're not going to let her go on this date, right? If she's 13, he's 14, you know the boy, he's very sweet. Maybe you drive them to the mall, they go to the movie, you pick them up, you bring them home. I don't think that's such a big deal. Now, a great thing to do is you want to have as much control as you can. So if she wants a boy to come over, great. It's in your house.
Right.
You can say, leave the door open.
Keep the door open.
You know where they are. What worries me is when a girl gets into a car with a 16 or 17-year-old boy who's not an experienced driver. That you have to be so careful with. So I think with parents, talk to her about the date. See what your comfort level is. Try not to do a knee-jerk no, because you don't want her sneaking out or lying to you.
Yeah, because she's going to probably go on the date whether you say yes or no.
She probably will. So what you want to do is you want to see if you can make it so you have a little bit of control and you know where she's going to be, what time she's going to be home, does she have her cell phone, who's going to be taking her, things like that.
Right. Getting a lot of information. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
But this is a really interesting question because it makes me take a small trip down memory lane from when I was in 5th grade. Now, when I was in 5th grade, I was about, 10?
11.
11, okay.
Yeah, 10 or 11.
10 or 11. I was young for my grade, so I was probably around the 10-year-old mark. And when I think of a 10-year-old going on a date, that is ludicrous to me. I can't even imagine my 10-year-old daughter.
But if you meet my 11-year-old son and girls talk to him, you could see like him wanting to go to a movie with a girl.
Right.
Like, you could totally see it.
Right. But now back then, I asked my parents if I was allowed to go on a date with my crush, Ian Doherty, and who's now married with kids, and we were in touch thanks to Facebook. Anyway, I asked my parents if I could go on this date. It was a cheese fry date. We were going to get cheese fries at Fiesta Pizza. That was the cool hangout.
Okay.
And my parents said no. Well, I didn't really like that answer, so I went anyway. And Ian rode me on his handlebars of his bike, and then we went back to his house, and his parents weren't home. So that was I was a little advanced for my age. But anyway, I ended up feeling so guilty about my cheese fry date. And by the way, even though his parents weren't home, it was only a cheese fry date. I ended up feeling so guilty about my date that I went on, that I wasn't allowed to go on, that I told my parents and I confessed. And then I was grounded for like 3 weeks or something.
When I was in 5th grade, there was a boy named Ari Pellet, who I'm still friendly with on Facebook.
Okay.
And he wanted to walk on 86th Street with me, 86th Street in Manhattan. At the time, 86th Street wasn't so great. My mother absolutely refused. I thought she was the meanest woman in the world. I cried. She said, fine, I'll take you guys somewhere. And she took us to the movies or something. It was pretty lame, and he broke up with me.
So your mom was the chaperone of the date?
Yeah.
Did your mom sit in between the two of you at the movies?
I don't know what she did, but in any case, it didn't work out. I think it was totally my mom's fault, but I'm over it now.
That's really funny. Now, Elfie Baby wants to talk about her daughter. My daughter is 15 years old. Her name is Fonda. If she is going on a date, I want to meet the parents. I'll take them and I'll pick them up. It's easier to meet the other parents and go from there. That's interesting.
That is interesting. I think it depends also, is he a boy from school and how old is he?
Right.
If he's too old, you're not going to meet the parents. If
That's
she's,
true.
15 is a tough age.
He might be a parent himself.
15 is a tough age. That's a great idea to meet the parent. I don't think it's likely, and I think you're going to completely humiliate your daughter. But if you can meet the parent, great idea. I think you got to meet the guy and get the vibe and see what you're thinking.
If he's a punk, forget it. Basically, just answer the door with a shotgun. That's my advice. That's what my dad used to do. Okay, second caller, Kelly Jean in Kansas City. Kelly Jean, are you with us?
Hi, Kelly Jean.
Yes, I'm with you. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
My kids are a little bit older. My son is 30, my daughter's 32. However, he asks me sometimes for information. And he asked me about if you have sexual proclivities that your wife doesn't enjoy, how do you engage with that and rectify that situation? Now, you understand what I'm saying. I said it as nicely as I could.
You want to take this?
I'm not entirely sure that I can offer advice on that. So this is...
Okay, wait, I have a piece of advice.
Wait,
you know what
this
you
is
do?
your son that's asking you this about his wife?
Yeah, this is odd.
Hello? No?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I was typing. Sorry, I didn't know I still had mine. Yes, ma'am. He was asking about
his
wife.
son. Oh my gosh, so that's interesting. That's a tough...
I know.
I'm very close to my son.
You know
That's
what you
nice.
should tell your son? Tell your son to tell his wife what he likes, see what she says. Maybe she won't be so freaked out by it. That's what I would say. I mean, he has to be honest with her. If it's his wife, it's his wife.
He did ask her, but anyway.
I don't know. This is not my field of expertise.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. We actually have another caller as well in the queue. James from Vermont. James, are you with us?
Hi, James. I don't know if we have James.
James?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that. The mic was blocked.
That's okay. How are you?
Hi,
What's your question?
Hi.
Show.
Sorry?
We can't
I
hear.
said I love your show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for watching.
Oh, absolutely. Any chance I get.
Ah.
I guess the main thing that I wanted to say about girls dating is, as a single father, I'm raising 2 children. I've had them since they were 6 months old.
Wow.
My big thing is I need to meet the parents, whether it's a date, whether it's going over to a girlfriend's house, whether it's just hanging out down the road. I need to know who's there. I need to know who the parents are. I need to know what other children are going to be there. And if they are going to be there, is it possible to meet their parents so that we can all meet and understand this is what's going on, this is what they can and cannot do, and it just makes life so much easier on the parents.
You know,
I don't understand why more parents don't do it.
You're
Yeah.
so right, and I think it's a great idea, and I think that if you know the parents and then there's some sort of trust there and you're on common ground and you have common values, it really makes a huge difference. Unfortunately, what happens a lot, which I'm finding with my own kids, is that some parents are so lenient.
Yes.
And how do you say no when the other parents are saying yes, but you have to hold your ground? And sometimes I meet the parents, and these parents do not impress me. I don't trust them, and I'm not comfortable with it. And to your point, because I met the parents, I'm not letting my son sleep over there because I just don't trust them. But then when I do meet parents and I am comfortable with them, it's so much easier because you can breathe easier because you say, okay, they're going to be there and you know they have common ground. But I totally agree with you. I think anytime you can meet the parents, it really helps.
James, I have to say, first of all, hats off to you for being a single father of 2. That's amazing to hear that. Also, a thing that I want to talk a little bit about is the fact that every single child has a friend who has those parents that let them do whatever. no curfew, no bedtime, no rules. I mean, I had a friend in high school that was, had parents like this. Now, my parents are very friendly with their parents, but even though my parents are friendly with their parents and they seem like good parents on the surface, my parents had no idea that her parents would, let us stay out until all hours of the night, even though we only had Cinderella licenses. So it's a really tough
It's very hard.
But definitely meeting the parents is a great idea. I think that's really impressive. You take the time to do that.
And I think meeting the kids too is really important.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, James, thank you so much for your call, and hope to see you next week. Oh, okay, sorry, his mic got cut off. Okay, anyway, we are actually running out of time, which is so sad because the show always goes so fast. I have to say, first of all, a huge thank you to all of our callers during the show. We really appreciate your questions. We hope that we helped you in some way. Love hearing your voices. It definitely makes our jobs easier because, I mean, you don't want to hear us talk the entire time. And also, another big thank you to Erika Katz, my fantastic guest, the author of Bonding Over Beauty. You can see her on tons of TV shows. She's on the Today Show a lot. She's doing commercials now.
I am.
And so, when you turn on your TV, you just might see this beautiful face. And also, I didn't even show the new issue of In Touch, but definitely
speaking of parenting,
speaking of parenting, we have a big story about Suri Cruz wanting to live with daddy, so you have to pick that up for all the juicy details. Anyway, I'm Dorothy Cascerceri, the senior editor for In Touch and your host of the In Touch Weekly Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Dorothy Lauren, also my blog, theblondeinblue.tumblr.com, and Erika's website is
bondingoverbeauty.com.
Yes.
My Twitter handle is bondoverbeauty, and like me on Facebook. I'm always posting lots of great things and lots of great articles, especially parenting and beauty and all sorts of fun things.
Yeah. All right. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.